Everybody, and welcome back to the High School Esports League. Tonight it's Valorant. I'm Cairo, joined by the wonderful HSEL and VAL. That last match, well, it was a long one.
I mean, yeah, that is a good way of summarizing 38 rounds of Valorant in a best of one. I don't think there's really too much analysis I want to pull on from that one. I think we just move straight into the next. Lamp Tigers Esports versus HHS Valorant. This one proving to be, you know, another game, another contest. I think the bar has been set fairly high off the back of the previous. There's a lot of expectation now coming into this one for it to meet the similar level. But something I want to look at a little bit more perhaps is the team play, the use of utility, what we actually see from these teams, if it's something a bit more in line with what we'd expect, or if it is just another ridiculous shot in the dark like what we were just treated to.
I mean, Hazza, I would love to be treated to what we were treated to in that last game with the amount of drama.
Do not kid yourself.
But I'll tell you what, we are gonna get another map coming up. That being Ascent, one that everybody loves.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone loves it if you're a player, right? I think some people a little bit more on our end, you know, like on the desk or in other positions, find it a bit different because there's a bit more limited of an agent pool as we're in Agent Select right now as to what we expect to see. But, you know, this is already looking to be a lot more run-of-the-mill other than the fact that the attackers don't have a controller in their comp, which I find incredibly interesting, something which may be one of their shortcomings. We'll have to see. Starting out on the attacking side, it is always good to have those smokes to deny visibility, take some control in towards mid and whatnot. But looking at what the defender side have, it's looking pretty well-rounded, other than the fact that they've dropped the Killjoy. Perhaps the recent changes enough to dissuade them and really favour that Cypher. Well,
Hazza, one thing that I will say is, I mean, why pick up a controller when you can just frag out? Maybe that's what we're seeing from HS Valorant. That's something that potentially we need to think about. But looking at these comps, it'll be interesting to see exactly how these teams kind of go up against one another. The fact that we're seeing a double duelist on HHS Valorant, this is going to be a big half for them, considering they need to maximise the fragging power that they can get from these duelists.
Yeah, certainly. I think, like you said, why pick up a controller when you can pick up a Reyna? We've got two teams with a Reyna here as well. An agent which I'm surprised we didn't get a run out from in the previous game because of how good she is, you know, in these sort of puggy scenarios when you're just looking to take a kill. Maybe it's scrappy and you want to heal up off the back of it. She very much plays for herself, and I think we saw that through the gameplay on a couple of the players in the previous game. But look, I mean, there's only so much of a prerequisite we can treat it as. We know how that one panned out, and already starting off in the pistol here. Envision dreams, envisions a kill, and they manifest it by finding the head of their opponent.
First being found, and already just jiggle peeking the angle, and there's a couple of frags happening elsewhere. These players still stuck in main though, and they can't exactly quite get out. For still up, so the util still very much viable in this situation. Either player can get found out, and like that, Milk and Dreams will get found out by that Cypher cam. And this moment in time, it really is turning in towards a skirmish, and that's exactly what we find out by Ferb getting that first kill.
Still has the Cypher wire there, but might not even be needed. The players just peeking out one at a time and finding what they need. Ferb with a third. And Lamp Tigers are able to pick up the pistol round.
Yeah, they are able to get that pistol round in towards the pocket. Get the momentum, get the ball rolling for this match, Lamp Tigers. I mean, when we look towards the comp, it's more well-rounded out as well, Hazza. So that's something that we could think about. The fact that they have double Sentinel as well, maybe a little bit more control for them on the map.
Yeah, perhaps. We'll just have to see how that works for them. You've also got to consider the smokes as well. Dark cover posted up, making it a lot more difficult. And look at this setup here from Ferb. Didn't have any Sentinels in the previous game, but we can already see somewhat of a masterclass coming through from the agents that have been involved with this game thus far. Or at least they've reached a level of mastery with the agent where you've got those different sets, trips and traps that you can implement to make life more difficult for your opponents. Thankfully for HHS, they are just going to be sitting in towards tiles, but moving in that pack mentality, not straying too far away from one another as they look to gain some extra control.
Already, here we go. Phasey on. I was about to say Phasey on a Maisie, but it's not to be. That's a nice little shot from Botfragger. Not Botfragging so much. Yunji elsewhere gets one of their own, and it's actually from mid. The two players that are out on B are going to actually do a bit of a doozy. They're going to head towards spawn and create a crossfire. There's been a little bit of a doozy happening in towards mid as well, as we're in towards a 3 versus 2. The frags have somehow ensued. The Sage trying to make their way through and towards A with the spike, but the biggest pickup so far is probably Shadow's Vandal here, has her.
It definitely is.
30 seconds left.
Could cause some decent damage, but there isn't very much time left on the clock here. HHS, they need to get a move on and get towards the A site. The only problem is the setup is there, like I said. And Ferb will be waiting for them, has the spy cam, will hear the footsteps already, players lining up to get themselves involved. Here it comes, everything in place to shut them down, finds the first, nearly treated to a second, but Shadow from the shadows rips up the turf and nearly the script, giving HHS a mere lifeline, but not one which is grouped up upon.
Momentarily made a moment there, has a momentarily made a moment. I think that doesn't sound about right, but the point is, it's nearly happened, that moment where the Rays could have potentially won the round for HHS, and it would have been the match completely turned on its head. 4 rifles being bought up by the defending side as well. They're really investing heavily in towards this one.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, if you win the round, you want to make sure that you've got everything to carve out a 3rd, 4th, or however many Lamp Tigers want to try and take us. This one could be a little more one-sided than the previous, but I mean, looking at what Shadow had already introduced on the Vandal, some very, very articulate players in sewing out those shots, and Rand with a nice clean headshot to round out a flawless from Lamp Tigers. There was some resistance in their face, but I mean, they just chased on down those players as soon as they knew the position. It was like shark-infested waters with a drop of blood placed in the middle.
Really is. Do you know sharks can smell blood from around 2 miles away?
Can they?
I think it's something like that, yeah. It's crazy.
Oh, nice. It's like sort of like an echolocation similar kind of thing, but with smell.
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, because that's what dolphins do, right?
What?
Dolphins, they make like clicking noise, and they're able to work out with echolocation.
Ah, interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, there's going to need to be a lot of working out here, because Yunji has somehow found himself in a bit of an interesting scenario.
Yeah, they're not going to get the full clear either, because the boombot has already ran out. And then up comes Yunji from behind. Position of the turret might not have cleared them if they walked through the full dark cover, but look at that. There's a nano swarm even in preparation. HHS Valorant approaching this one a lot more methodically than they have done previous, and Shadow stands at the front of the pack when it comes to people that have been paving the way in these games.
Yunji, just misses out. Ducky Toto gets the last kill on the round, and well, HHS are on the board. Remember, the last round that they had was a save, so maybe there's not much to be extrapolated from that round, but from this round, when both teams are on similar buys, HHS did much more damage. That's the one thing that has to be said.
Yeah, that is one thing for certain, and we've seen Shadow now fully unlocked on that Vandal, getting to work and causing some issues. I would like to see HHS build out this default to be a little bit more rigid, however, because while they do find success on that round, in part, quite a bit of it is to do with Lamp Tigers going aggressive, trying to hunt for these kills, and yeah, I'm not too sure. Nano Swarm's invested to stop that aggression off the back of the turret, but I mean, Lamp Tigers have read into what I was saying, and they are playing this a lot slower. That's utility that you then won't have later into the round when you look towards a potential post play.
Right, at this moment in time, I mean, the post may be such an interesting aspect, though, as considering that the nano swarms are gone, and considering that Sova is gone, so is the Sage, so is the Reyna, it's all falling apart. They've tried to boost it up, but it's not to be advised. There's only one left, and it's a Raze. It's the Raze going up against FaZe. Here comes the showstopper, it doesn't hit. And oh goodness, it's now only one player left, and they're stuck in a corner. Can't get out.
Ooh. Yeah, for a moment, there's a window that you take Rand in that situation, but the Prowler, the Slow Orb, the layers of utility coming to the front line there, and Lamp Tigers, I don't know, they confuse me, man. I'm in a point where I don't want to just fully put my belief into that they're going to run away with this, because HHS, on the turn of a heel, can show you some serious consistency of their own, like they did on the previous round. And then they just come back to their old ways. Don't look to exploit the mid area of the map anymore. Sit inside towards B main and allow for Lamp Tigers to collapse in upon them once more. So it's just about finding that consistency, and it just does not seem to be coming right now.
It really does not. And look at the Empress. Look at what FaZe is able to do already, cutting things down. Envision Dreams, tries to envision some sort of answer back and gets it out. But it's not to be for long.
It's rounds like that as well which knock the confidence the most. Not just for HHS, but like I said, my belief of what they're able to achieve in this game. Because on the opposite end, you've got a player like FaZe who's saying, okay, I've not even heard a footstep yet, but I'm popping my Empress and I'm holding W in towards tiles, because there's that sort of expectation that players are going to be sat towards that position. And yet again, it's rinse and repeat for HHS. They're stacking up towards a similar side of the map. You've got Ferb for the late round on any kind of an A adjustment, and this big control in towards mid with Botfragger having those dark covers to really restrict the angles, forcing you to commit more utility if you want to enjoy the same kind of control on the map that Lamp Tigers currently are enjoying.
I think as well, it's the response that came off the back of it. Sure, if you lose one player, but like that you can always run to A and set up there. But I mean, even at that, there wasn't even much of a response, and it gets even worse. It's that meat grinder situation, it's not something that we like to see. They're just running at it. They're just being turned into mince.
My. There they are, man. They've been stuck in a sheep's intestine and made into haggis. That's what it is. Right? It is a sheep's intestine, right?
Yeah,
that's what
it's actually illegal in America.
Is it? Wait, really? Is haggis legal in America? Is it one of those like one state and not another kind of thing?
No, it's you can't import haggis to the US.
You can't import it, but say
no, you can't make it either. I don't think.
I was gonna say, because surely I can just go, and if I wanted to do that to a sheep, I mean, I don't think I would. And just as a preface, if anyone, you know, in NA, if high school esports do send us out there to do a bit or whatever, you know, you don't have to lock up your sheeps. Like trust me, they'll be fine. But I didn't know that.
In 1971, it became illegal to import haggis into the US from the UK due to a ban on food containing sheep lung.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous. It's just not what you'd expect.
No.
And I can say that as well because it seems like the people on the production side don't even know what haggis is. So maybe that's worth a Google in and of itself. But back to the Valorant. This one may be panning out in the way that you'd expect. But HHS have brought it a little further towards the finish line, at least the ticker tape that is in a colour of red, a shade which suits them a little better. But I mean, even then, you go B, it doesn't work, you get out with the right pieces, you've got to walk in towards Ferb on A, and this guy is 10-3 right now on some kind of a summer adventure while it is only February.
Can I ask you a question, Hazel?
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Why is it the ciphers that like they do nothing for the not saying that they're doing nothing, but like they're just like chilling out on a site, and then you go out to the site and then they just become like Sugetsu? Like, why does that always happen? Like, why do they always turn into like these gods of Valorant?
I don't know, man. Cypher players are just built diff. Think about picking up an agent. I used to play Cypher. I was a Cypher purist back in the beta. Loved to play the agent. He was the Sentinel. He was that guy at the time. And then some French guy whose abilities are literally guns comes along and just drags you face down through the mud for months and months. You know, you've got to have some kind of crazy Giga Chad energy to volley back from that, and this is what we're seeing from Ferb. Another kill picked up. The start of the show on this round may have been Botfragger with that nice little collat on the players coming through Link, but I mean, this is just an exhibition at this point in time. Lamp Tigers up 8-1, and it seems as if we may even be getting some kind of a pause coming through. Hopefully, not too many tech issues plaguing HHS, and it is more the game strategy that has let them down. Something to be adjusted rather than, you know, a loose LAN cable.
Ah, right, okay. Well, that's time. Hazard, that is something that they will have to be dealt with. I'm really hoping that it doesn't continue, because so far, Lamp Tigers, I mean, they've just been almost making this game their own, consistently waiting for the HHS to make a bad move. And I mean, there's one. The fact you're just sitting in mid waiting for someone to peek you can't do that in Valorant because there's so many angles to contest.
That you cannot. FaZe. 3 for them. And here comes the support. Paranoia through towards Link. Yuji following it up from B main. I could say that they're playing the Vision Striker strat, you know, the aggressive early round pinch towards outside of B and tiles, but it's not even that. It's just calculated aggression, and that happens to be the location upon every single round because HHS have just failed to adapt.
It is that failure to adapt, and do you know what's even worse? There's an Empress on lane again, and you know what FaZe is like. I mean, FaZe...
Mate, it's not just an Empress. They have all 5 ultimates.
Yeah. But it's more, I mean, all 5 ultimates, great, fantastic, but, I mean, FaZe on Amazy, that's what we're looking for.
That they are. I mean, if Ferb is this good, I wonder what Phineas is like. That's all I have to say.
Oh, God, oh goodness.
I guess we won't be treated to it.
Oh.
Rand instead will greet Tristan with a bullet to the dome. Oh, the Prowler is perfect. They're just walking out! Blind and dead, Rand! So close to making it an ace. Securing double digits with half that number in their own. Ferb instead. Always tailgating this kill feed as we do go up 10-1. It's just like yesterday. It's just like last time we were on HSEL, man. It's a really, really long overtime fracture game and a super quick ascent match. It's just this time it's happened the opposite way around.
This is crazy. Maybe we're cursed, Hazza. Maybe that's what it is. You know,
I mean, is it a curse or a blessing? It's something, right?
This is true. This is true. I mean,
it's
not
a trend.
Every caster, not every,
like a TikTok dance.
Oh God.
Some people like it, some people don't. It really depends what your preference is.
Well, I mean, I don't like TikTok since
I would love to see you hit the griddy.
Well, that will not be happening. I'd love to see Milk and Dreams hit more shots like that, because that was absolutely gorgeous. And at this moment in time, they have the full A site. What are you doing, guys? You're out on main. The Sage is already taking a spot. We are running in with the lockdown as well. This is interesting, but we'll tell you what, we're in towards the post, and that is going to buy at least an extra 9 seconds to set up this post plan. Botfragger TP'd in towards the back lines here, Hazza. This is going to be a real crunch in towards the site.
You say it gives more time to set up the post plant. There is no tree control, and we have 2 players on the under position. Fade ult coming through, no sound whatsoever. Big kill in main for Botfragger to get dropped. This will ease some of the weight off of their necks. However, looking at these remaining 2 positions, it is those remaining players under, and Rand has found 4 yet again to give Lamp their 11th. The Tigers growling in happiness, purring away at that round being found. And I just, yeah, it's ridiculous stuff. I think if you're HHS, you need to be a little more proactive there. You have the lockdown. Make the most value out of what it is you have available to you. Take some extra tree control, move a player away, you know, set up those crossfires a little bit better rather than sitting so deep and just inviting the retake back through.
There's a lot of things that scared me about that take as well. Not only did we see that, but I mean, 4 players stuck in main while the Sage was sent into backside. We also had a lot of player run in with a lockdown, and understand that players are maybe having issues with the internet, but it's more to do with the fact that, like, I mean, what if that KG gets shot at from tree? I mean, yes, you checked it with the L drone, but easily that position could be taken up, or someone could be hiding around a corner. This is things that could happen, and things that you could easily be punished for.
Certainly could. Ducky Toto stuck in the corner, trying to do damage. 2 shots to the Sheriff, and that is a kill. Bit more damage dealt onto Botfragger, but it can be healed off by the Sage. First, the spike going down, and a couple more shots sent through. FaZe not given just enough time to get off that overheal, as Yunji will continue to fire away. 3 players on full HP from both sides. Fragger just about spotting Shadow from the corner, and they get taken out. Walking out one by one and getting punished here, HHS. Lamp Tigers dismantling them, and now only Tristan with a crossfire set up between main and Hell. It's just been a hellish game for HHS as Lamp Tigers sit on map point. Match point.
Map and match point. It really has been an emphatic win for them. Again, maybe a caveat in terms of what's been happening out of everybody's control at this moment in time, but that's nothing that we can talk about. What we can talk about is how well Lamp Tigers have been able to progress with what they've got in hand and what they've been dealt with. HHS, I mean, while they've had the third-party issues, there's a lot of strategy and basics that have just been made. The errors on that front, again, still worry me for the future.
Definitely, and look, the investment is already here. Full set of rifles. Lamp Tigers, they know that things can end in this round only, so they will look to do it. Tristan finds 2. Bit of a lifeline here for them to work with, but Botfragger is running high on confidence and just steaming in towards spawn. Rand will have the champion's aura for now, but the Tigers are hungry to steal the kills for their own. Ducky Toto, the last remaining player. And I think it's a bad sign when I think last round was the first time I'd actually seen them get spectated before falling. There we have it. Rand on another multi-kill. That one wrapped up incredibly quick in the end. HHS not really offering too much to get us excited. There were glimpses, but it didn't really, you know, materialize to a final result. And it ends up being 13-1.
That's the thing. I mean, the materialization just wasn't there. Again, there's a caveat. I don't talk about it too much because at the end of the day, we have a winner. Lamp Tigers did win out with good gun skill and etc. etc. But Haza, talking about quickly wrapped up, our broadcast has actually ended up wrapped up pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think we've just about made it on schedule in the end. So Lamp Tigers definitely doing us a few favors. Looking at that game and just getting a quick look at the scoreboard. In terms of first bloods, it was fairly split across the board. FaZe had the bulk of them with 4. But other than that, the highest is 2. And that was Rand. So no real star performers. It was just a case of every single player on the Tigers side pulling their weight, getting the job done. A little bit more of a better balanced comp as well, I think it's fair to say, when you look at Botfragger playing the controller and the complete absence of one on the opposite end for HHS. But yeah, a thoroughly deserved victory. And for HHS, you know, just go back and review it. There's plenty of learning opportunities that you can take, I think, from this game. But like in terms of individuals, there's still definitely promise.
I actually can't remember if I saw smoke being placed. If I off the top of my head, has it even from? There was a couple of. But the thing is, though, is if you're on the what do you call it, HHS, it's something to consider. Is you could smoke off main and stop the Reyna running out. Just things like things about basics. That's a kind of basic thing that was mistaken. But at the end of the day, the game is done. Oh.
No, I was just about to say, I think the main thing for the controller in that game, to be honest, is kind of comes down to what the name of the role is itself. You're a controller, and that's what it was. It was controlling the tempo on the Omen. You look at the smokes in terms of what they can offer for delaying, but one of the main things to point out for me would also be their use of the paranoia. I think it was fantastic in taking a lot of that space towards tiles, towards Link, which was the majority of what we saw, because this was a very defender-sided map for Lamp Tigers in when you look at how it was decided. And it was smokes if we want to go slow, flash if we want to go fast, and really they could just get creative, flexible with it, and they win as a result.
I don't think the foot was taken off that gas pedal, but for us, it's time to put the foot on. That is the broadcast finished. Unfortunately, we wish we could have more games. I wish I could stay here all night, mate, but unfortunately I've been told that the production is wanting to send us to our bed. I've had enough of us and our casting. I'll leave you with any final regards, and then that we'll end it for tonight.